Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of StorrsNation, coming out of, you guessed it, Storrs, Connecticut, home of the UConn Huskies. This show combines all our favorite sports segments around the country with a little bit of a twist. I'm Hannah Olson. Alongside me, we have William Richardson and Michael Sevo. So let's get started with a quick update about what's going around UConn. The men's basketball team suffered a terrible, devastating loss against Cincinnati at Cincinnati, 63-58. They were pretty much in the game the whole time, but just couldn't finish it. But they bounced back UCF on Sunday, 75-55, and that was really only a 6.5 spread, so UConn did the job there. Lassonde had a huge game, 17.7 rebounds. Hey, Mike, are there any other blowouts going on in Storrs?
Well, actually, it happens quite a bit with the UConn women's basketball team, who took on a very, very good number 4 ranked Louisville women's team, a good conference throw here at Gamble this past Sunday, and totally did the job from the start. Brianna Stewart had 24 points and 10 rebounds. Stewart took over the game from the start, shooting pretty consistently well from the three-point line and getting into the paint and doing some damage against some of Louisville's smaller players, looking like a monster out there on the court. But that's not the only news from the game. Kalina Musquet-Lewis once again went down with an elbow injury, this time to her left non-shooting elbow at the end of the first half. However, she came charging back out onto the court after the team had already come out in the second half with a brace on her left arm, but she was just not quite the same shooting the basketball. So Gino played it safe with a fairly sizable lead and decided for the rest of the game. We didn't know her status going forward, but she did get back into that game, so we'll see if she can play it again in a little bit. But getting away from basketball, Will, what happened in hockey this weekend?
Well, let's go ahead and take it to the ice then. The women's hockey team had a monumental win for the program. They beat the 7th-ranked Boston College Golden Eagles by a final score of 2-0. It was a great game from the start. Great win for them. They're in the Hockey East, which is a very competitive field. So great game. Elaine truly was phenomenal. She was stopping pucks left, right, up, down, middle, every direction that the puck seemed to come from. She was just
every single one? Did you get all of them?
I think I got everything.
What about diagonal?
Horizontal, diagonal, too. Well, anyway, she stopped everything. And the great goal play also continued for the men as well. They beat Bentley by a final score of 3-0. Shout out at home by Robbie Nichols. It was a great game for them. They seem to be making progress in the Atlantic Hockey Association. But they unfortunately also lost to Bentley by a final score of 4-1. So they dropped back down to 3rd as they're making a run. They have 7 games left, so they're making quite a run for the postseason. So now we're going to switch to Are You Kidding Me? Where myself, Hannah, and Mike, we're going to tell you the things that shocked us the most this week. So the thing that shocked me the most.
What was it?
The Miami Heat beating the Clippers and losing to the Jazz. Not to the Lakers, who aren't even that bad. They beat the Cavs with only 8 players or so. And Chris came and laid out on the bench. They lost to the Jazz. The Jazz, who have been a lottery team for as long as I can remember. But anyway.
Okay, first of all, ew. Like, ew. How do you lose to the Jazz? They're so bad. Like, are you embarrassed?
Two-time defending champs.
This guy's from Miami.
We got a Miami Heat fan, everybody.
Wow.
You see the tears? I'm not shedding any tears, but I see some tears that core that eye a little bit. That's ugly.
These lights are kind of bright, so I don't know, but they played great against the Clippers.
No,
they played
the Clippers win
classic.
Great Heat win against the Clippers. That great defense that came out again, a somewhat effective D Wade, a dominant LeBron. That's the Heat team that I know. The Heat team that I didn't know existed was the one that came out against the Jazz. I didn't know LeBron could only score 13 points in a basketball game.
Anyway.
Did not know that was possible.
Anyway. The Heat, they proved that they're not the perfect team that everybody expects them to be. Sometimes you do lose games to the Jazz.
Because that's annoying.
I will accept this loss on behalf of Heat fans everywhere. Anyway.
You hear that, y'all? It's his fault. You said it here. Will Richardson, StorrsNation, he said it first. He's taking all the credit. Even Spoelstra's credit? You taking it from him?
Even Spoelstra.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Hey, that's a brave man right there. That's
hey,
a
Mike,
pretty
what
brave
pissed you off?
We want to know what pissed me off. Shabazz Napier jacking a 35-foot jump shot with less than a minute to go. After UConn had a lead, blew it, almost got it back, then got it back, then gave it back again, got the ball back down 2, and he puts up a terrible shot. Early in the shot clock, 33 seconds to go. Now, I've been watching UConn basketball since I was a little kid, and clearly I know what I'm talking about. So when I tell you that was one of the worst shots that I've seen in a regular season game in a long time, bear with me here. When I tell you how bad that shot was, I mean, knowing from history, a regular season game of that level of importance for this UConn team, that was a pretty freaking bad shot.
Shabazz has been doing this all season, though.
The thing is, he's been playing so well, and he was pretty important in that game. He didn't shoot that well, but he made good decisions passing the ball. Shabazz Napier is probably the best player on this team right now, and I'd take nothing away from him for that. He's definitely one of the better players in the country, let alone the team. But very, very questionable shot decision. 35-foot shot, 33 seconds to go, early in the shot clock. not a good shot when you're down 2. You can get a much better shot than that.
True.
Way better.
But it could have been a 40-foot shot, so we'll take the 35.
He can hit those. He can hit those, but that game, he was dry from the three-point line, and he wasn't hitting them to begin with. He's a confident guy. He can hit those shots, but it didn't fall, and it looks really bad.
We saw that against Stanford as well. He jacked up
so
many
even
threes
uglier.
at the Stanford game.
But the good thing out of that, yeah, they're bad shots, but his confidence is always there no matter what, and
Yeah.
that's really important to take away.
And the important thing is, at least they're still ranked.
Yes.
That's
Barely.
At 24, big game,
Hanging
Saturday. They should be able to take on USF in pretty decent fashion, but big game Saturday in Memphis. Can they beat a good team twice? Doesn't happen often.
Hey, Stores Nation, get your way to XL Center for that game because they need a big student section. But I'm just going to tell you guys what really pissed me off.
What pissed you off, Hannah?
And it's Marcus Smart. This is kind of old news, but it really just pissed me off so much I got to bring it up again.
Tell it, girl.
Marcus Smart pushing a fan. Okay, that's bad. I'll admit it. That's bad. But where's the fans' accountability? Deny saying a racial slur, saying that he only called him a piece of C-R-A-P.
She spelled it out.
You know it's real. You know it's real.
You know it's real.
I'm so mad. No way does Marcus Smart just stand up and push a guy for calling him that. He hears that every day. I'm sure he hears it even worse on Twitter. He is used to that. This fan obviously called him a racial slur. Sure, maybe he has to deny it, whatever, but it's really just BS. Marcus Smart suspended 3 games. You got to do some type of punishment. You can't be pushing fans, but that's absurd. I mean, Oklahoma State needs this kid.
I think with the NCAA, the biggest thing that we're seeing here is that there's no accountability on the officials' part, the people in the administration.
Right.
We're seeing that they want to defend their players, yes, but for the fan, all he did was say, I'm going to step away, and I'm not going to go to any more games because he's Texas Tech's quote-unquote super fan.
Right.
So he volunteered to not go to any more home or away games. That's not really a penalty because you're paying your own money to do that. That's voluntary.
Yep.
So I do think that there should have been something else, but NCAA is kind of messed up as it is, so we'll
No,
take it as
I
it
definitely agree with Will. I think it's not enough. He can go home and watch those games
Right.
on TV. I'm sure he lives close. If he goes to all these games, he's got to be around the campus quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's not enough. Like Will said, he's paying for the game, so how much is that a loss for the team? You can't. Okay, Texas Tech is allowing themselves to set a standard for fans. Is that if you can say whatever you want to a player, and if you get pushed by him, you can set your own rules, set your own punishment, and not even a bad one, and just get away with it. There has to be something more.
I mean, the worst part of it was his stupid wife that was just pointing at Marcus Smart. I am shocked that is not a meme by
He
now.
played a real great role, though.
Okay, guys, we need a commercial break, get our emotions set, and stay with us.